Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the class. Hope you all are keeping well at home and studying what is taught in your online classes in different subjects. Let's recap what we have discussed in the previous session. We have discussed about the pure substances and impure substances, where you have learned about elements and compounds, that is pure substance, and you have learned about mixtures. We have learned that an element is a pure substance which cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by any chemical means. Then we have discussed about compounds, that compounds consist of a fixed number of different kinds of atoms which are chemically combined together. So these can be separated by chemical means. Then we have learnt about mixtures. Mixtures are impure substances. We say that it is not a pure substance as it contains a mixture of different substances which are not chemically combined together. Now, today we are going to learn about the different separation techniques for the different kinds of mixtures. As you have already learned about pure substances, you know that a pure substance is made up of only one substance. That is, it is containing one kind of atom or maybe two different kinds of atoms. And it is not mixed with any other substance. So we consider it as a pure substance. And this is the reason the purity of a substance can be determined by its melting and the boiling point. The pure substances have fixed melting and boiling points. This is because of the reason of the purity of the substance, because it is containing one or two kinds of atoms combined together chemically. That is why it is pure substance, that is an element or a compound. So these substances have fixed melting as well as boiling points. Then mixtures, as you know, is not a pure substance as it contains different substances which are not chemically combined together. So a mixture is a substance which consists of two or more elements or compounds which are not chemically combined together. For example, we have already discussed about these examples in our previous class. We have discussed about milk, that milk is not a pure substance. Instead, it consists of carbohydrates, proteins, fat, and so many other substances in it. Air is also a mixture consisting of oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and many other gases are present in it. Soil is also a combination of different substances. Glass is also containing different substances mixed together. Mixtures are therefore not pure as it contains many particles in it that are not chemically combined together. There are two types of mixtures which you have learned, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous. And you have also learned like elements and compounds have definite melting and boiling points. The mixtures, they do not have fixed, definite, or you can say definite melting or boiling point. Now, most of the natural substances, as you know, are not chemically pure. I suppose the point is clear to everyone. We have discussed about so many examples that makes it clear that all the natural substances are not chemically pure. Instead, they are mixtures. They are either mixed with impurities of other substances or are mixtures of some substances. In order to study the properties of individual substance, we need each component of the mixture in the pure state. That is the need of separation. Why do we need to separate the different constituents of a mixture? The main reason is to study the properties of individual substances. There are different methods which have been used to separate the individual components of a mixture. So today we are going to learn what is actually the need for separation of different constituents present in a mixture. The very first point is to remove a harmful or undesirable component. Now, what does that mean? I'll give you an example. Rice, wheat, or pulses. We all have seen these examples in our house. They often contain small stones or husk. Small bits of husk is present in it, or maybe small stone is present in this rice or pulses or wheat. These are considered to be undesirable substances which needs to be removed before these food grains are cooked, or before wheat is made into or converted into flour. So we need to remove the undesirable or harmful substances. The undesirable substances like oil, sand, clay, salts, and microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, and algae are often present in water. We all are aware of all these impurities which may be present in water. So we need to remove all these impurities before the water is potable before the water is made potable for drinking purpose. So these impurities, or you can say the harmful substances, should be removed from the mixture. So in case of water where so many impurities may be present, these impurities needs to be removed from water before the water is used for drinking purpose or maybe for cooking purpose. Then another need for separation of the different constituents of a mixture is to obtain a useful substance. For example, petroleum oil is a mixture of useful substances. About it, you have studied in your class 5 general science also, that petroleum is crude oil which is composed of different constituents, and all these constituents which are present in petroleum are important constituents which are required for various purposes. So the different constituents which are present in petroleum are petrol, diesel, kerosene, many more things are present. So these substances need to be separated so that it can be used as fuels. So this is the need for separation, that by removing the unwanted and undesirable substances or undesirable component from the mixture, we obtain useful substance. Then another need for separation is to obtain the pure sample of a substance. Many substances are required in pure form for scientific research. So for making medicines, we need the purest form of the component. So if it is present in a mixture form, that component which is required for making a medicine is extracted from the mixture. It is separated from the mixture and then it is used up for the purpose. So for this purpose, the impurities present even in the little amount in the mixture should be removed. We cannot use the component with little of the impurity also, because that will have adverse effect. So that is why we need to obtain a pure sample of a substance. Then what is the principle of separation? Before coming up to the principle of separation, let's see the different kinds of mixtures. Already you have learnt about heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures in your previous session. Now we are going to talk about the different kind of mixtures on the basis of the state of the substance. So there are around 6 kinds of mixtures, that is solid-solid mixture, solid liquid mixture, solid gas mixture, liquid liquid mixture, liquid gas mixture, and gas gas mixture. But in this class, for class 6, you will be learning only about solid solid and solid liquid mixtures in detail. That is there in your syllabus. Rest of the part you will be learning as you move in the next standard. So, first of all, let's talk about the principle or the basis of separation. What is the basis of separation? We know that the constituents of a mixture have their own properties. This difference in their properties forms the basis or principle for separating them from each other. There are different methods employed so that we can get the different constituents of a mixture. Different methods of separation are used to get individual components from a mixture. The choice of the method for separating the different constituents of a mixture majorly depends upon the nature of the substance. What type of a substance is it? What type of a mixture it is? Whether it is solid solid or solid liquid or liquid liquid. It totally depends upon the nature of the mixture and also the properties of the constituents which are present in that mixture. Some commonly used methods for separating the constituents of a mixture we are going to discuss now. So I think you are now aware of what is the major basis or what is the principle of separation. On what basis it depends? It totally depends upon the nature of the mixture and also the properties of the constituent substances which are present in that mixture. So now we are going to learn about the different techniques. The method of separation is used, the different methods of separation are used for separating the mixture. It depends upon the nature of its constituents. We are going to learn about the different methods. The methods you are going to learn are filtration, evaporation, sublimation, centrifugation, then distillation, fractional distillation, sieving, winnowing, magnetic separation, and many more methods are there. So let's see it one by one. The different techniques of separation, the different methods of separation. So today we are going to learn in detail about the solid-solid type of mixtures and you will be learning about 5 methods. The very first method that you are going to learn is the very common method which you see in your day-to-day life at home. The hand-picking method. In the hand-picking method, the components of a solid-solid mixture can be separated. It is only useful when the particles are large enough to be seen clearly. That means we can see the visible difference in the different particles which are present in the mixture. And this is the most common method of separation. And I suppose that you must have sometime done this method also, but that time you were not knowing that this is a physical method of separation. For example, separating pebbles from rice or dal or pulses you can say. Then separating grass from mint leaves. Separating the different parts of salad. These are the very common examples which we come across in our day-to-day lives. Let's move on one by one with examples. Here you can see a lady separating the stones from rice. So that stone is the impurity that may be present in the mixture, and generally mothers do it at home. Before cooking rice, the raw rice which may be containing these stones, these impurities, the impurity is to be removed. So mothers do it, and sometimes they ask children also to do this so that they can help. In the other example, you can see the stones or the impurity is removed from the pulses. That is also very common example. The third example that you see is of grapes. Two different color grapes are present here, the black and the green. And this, I suppose, everyone must have done it at home. If suppose you like green grapes and mother has given you mixture of both of it, so what do? You separate out the different color grapes and give it to your mother that I don't want to eat it, or maybe you are providing it to your younger brother or sister. So here it shows that the two different types of grapes can be separated by simple hand picking method. With the hand, we can pick up the different size or different color particle and keep it separate. So this is very simple method of hand picking. Another method of separation is sifting or sieving. This method is used to separate dry mixture which contains substances of different sizes. So by passing the mixture content through a sieve, that is a device containing tiny holes. As you can see in the figure, this sieve is generally used in the kitchen. So if the mixture is passed through this sieve, the particles which are smaller in size will pass through the sieve, and those particles which are bigger in size will collect in the sieve. What is a sieve? A sieve is a device containing tiny holes, and it separates wanted elements from the unwanted material. Then sieving is a method in which a porous material is used to separate the particles of different sizes. Porous material means a container or a sieve which is having meshes, which is having pores in it. These meshes have pores in it so that the different size particles can pass through the holes. This method is most commonly used to effect gross separations, to have bulk separations. It is also used in separating the liquids also. When the mother is making tea, she is using a sieve so that the tea leaves can be separated from the tea which is made, which is prepared. So this is very useful in the method of filtration also. So in the method of sieving, a series of sieves can be used up, and they may be of different sizes from large size to small size. As you can see here in this module, that a mixture is containing different size particles. Gravel is present, that is small stones, sand particles are there, and maybe much more finer particles may be present in it. So when this mixture is passed through the sieve, first of all, the very big particles which are present may be trapped in the sieve, and the smaller particles will pass through the sieve, pass down through the sieve. So that will be collected, the smaller particles will be collected down, and the bigger particles will remain, the bigger stones will remain in the sieve itself. Then further sieving, the much more finer particles which are finer than the sand particles, they will be separated. So this way we will get the different size particles by this separation technique. Then another method of separation is, this method of separation is used for separating bran from wheat flour. Sieving is the separation method which is used to sieve or separate the solid components of varied size. So when bran is to be separated from the wheat flour, what is bran? Bran is the unwanted particle which is present in the wheat flour. So that bran can be separated from the wheat flour by the method of sieving. The next method we need to learn is winnowing. Well, in the method of winnowing, components of a mixture are separated by wind or by blowing air, and this method is called as winnowing. This is a method of separation where the mixture is allowed to fall from height. As you can see down in the module, the mixture is allowed to fall from a height, and the particles which are light in weight, they are blown away with the wind or air, and the particles which are heavy in weight, they drop down at the same place. It's a very common method which is used by farmers. After the crop is harvested, the grains are to be separated from the husk. So what is done? The farmers, they stand on a raised platform and they allow the threshed food grains. What is the threshed food grains? After the harvesting is done, threshing is done. Threshing is removing the grains from the plant. When the threshed food grains are allowed to fall down on the ground, the lighter particles are carried away with the wind or air, and the heavy particles, they get collected at one place. Very clearly you can see in this module, mixture is allowed to fall at a place. The particles which are light in weight, with the air it is carried away and it gets collected at a different place, and the particles which are heavy, they are collecting at one place. So a heap of lighter particles is made and a heap of bigger particles, heavy particles, is made at one place. So winnowing is the process of separating the lighter components of a mixture from the heavier ones by blowing air through the mixtures, and this is the very common method which is used to collect stalks of wheat grains, also for collecting the rice grains. Here in the module you can see that the wheat grains are collected by the method of winnowing. Then another method which you are going to learn is magnetic separation. So the word itself makes it clear that in magnetic separation there must be the use of magnet. Now here what is done? Two components are taken. One is sulfur and the other one is iron fillings. Iron fillings are the small scraps of the iron particles. So these two components are mixed together, and then you need to separate the different components. So how to separate the two components? What is done? A magnet is brought near the mixture, and when this magnet is brought, as you can see in the module, the iron fillings, because it has the characteristic, it has the property that it gets attracted towards the magnet. What will happen? The iron fillings or the scraps of iron, the smaller particles of iron, will get attracted towards the magnet, and thereby it will get separated from the mixture. So this magnetic attraction or magnetism is the process which is used to separate or extract a mixture, to extract the iron fillings from a mixture by using magnetic force. This method can be used generally for separating a magnetic substance from non-magnetic substance. What is the meaning of magnetic substance? Magnetic substance means a substance which attracts iron towards it. And what is non-magnetic substance? A substance which does not get attracted towards the magnet. And this method is used in industries. Magnets are used in recycling industries to separate the ferrous and the non-ferrous metals. What is done? The non-ferrous metals are separated from the ferrous metals, as you can see here in this module also. This is the scrap iron which is heaped at a place. It is a heap of waste materials, and here a magnet, electromagnet is used, high power magnet is used. With this high power magnet, all the iron particles, metallic substances, iron or you can say ferrous containing substances will get attracted towards the magnet, and it will get separated from the rest of the heap which is unwanted. So in the industries, such magnets, the powerful magnets, are used up for separating the iron particles from the rest of the heap which is unwanted. The last method which we have to learn is the method of sublimation. As you know that most of the solid substances, you have also learned in your previous classes as well, that most of the solid substances, when they are heated, they first change into liquid form and then finally into vapor form. You have learned about water also, that the solid form of water, when it is kept out at the room temperature, the solid form of water, that is ice, it melts and changes into liquid form. This liquid form of the substance, when it is again heated, it changes into gaseous form. So this is the general phenomena that takes place with the solids, that it changes from solid to liquid state and then from liquid to gaseous state. But when we talk about certain substances, there are certain substances like ammonium chloride or iodine or camphor, which directly changes from solid state to vapor state on heating. And also when it is cooled down, it gives back the solid substance. The very common example that you must have seen at home is camphor, the burning of camphor, kapoor. When camphor is burnt, it directly changes from solid state to vapor state. The intermediate state is missing. You will not find it converting into liquid form. It will be directly changing from the solid state to liquid state. So these substances like ammonium chloride or iodine or camphor, they have the characteristic that they directly change from solid state to gaseous state. And the change of solid directly into vapor state on heating and then from vapor state back to solid state on cooling is known as sublimation. What it is called? It is called sublimation. Now let's see what happens here. The principle which is involved in the method of sublimation is that on heating, the substance directly changes from solid to vapor state without passing into the intermediate state, that is the liquid state. Then we have an example when an activity that is to be done. In this activity, what is required? What is the aim? First of all, what is the aim of the activity? The aim of the activity is to separate a mixture of salt and ammonium chloride. The materials required for this activity are a china dish, a funnel, a wire gauze, a tripod stand, common salt, ammonium chloride, cotton wool, and a Bunsen burner. Just see here, this is the method which is given. This you can read later. For right now, I'll show you the method through the image. You can see here, this is the setup which is made. The requirement, materials which are required are a Bunsen burner, a china dish is required, ammonium chloride is required, a funnel is required, a cotton plug or a cotton wool is required. And of course, a wire gauze is required so that the china dish can be kept over it. Well, now what is the procedure? The procedure is the mixture of common salt and ammonium chloride is taken in the china dish. Then this mixture is covered by inverting a glass funnel over it. As you can see in the module, that a glass funnel is kept inverted over the china dish. Then block the end of the stem of the funnel with a cotton wool. On the tip you can see a cotton plug is put so that whatever goes on inside will not be moving out of the funnel. This is to prevent the ammonium chloride vapors from escaping into the atmosphere. Now when this setup is made, what is done? The content is heated. The mixture is gently heated. What you will be observing, what the observation will be that on heating the mixture, the white fumes will be seen. These fumes then change back to solid ammonium chloride along the cooler upper part of the funnel. On the cotton plug only, the smaller particles, the solid particles of the ammonium chloride will get collected when it cools down. First of all, it will be in the vapor form. It will be into gaseous form directly from the solid state. It will be changing into vapor form. So because it is not getting space or it is not getting any outlet, so it will get collected near the cotton wool, and on cooling it will be converted into solid particles. So these solid particles will be called as sublimate, and this sublimate can be removed and it can be collected as pure ammonium chloride, and the common salt will remain in the china dish itself. It will not sublime. It will not get converted into vapor form. So this is how we separate the two components. So what we can conclude from this activity, that ammonium chloride, it sublimes on heating, whereas common salt does not. So we can separate ammonium chloride from a mixture of common salt and ammonium chloride by the process of sublimation. With this, we end up today's session. Hope to meet you again. There are some exercise questions that are uploaded on the school's website, that is www.lfsraptinagar.ac.in. You can note down those exercise questions in the book, the objective type of questions in the book itself, and the short answer questions and the detailed question answers are to be done in copy.